That. Now back to the RNC tonight. Among the people that did not speak tonight is Colorado's Republican Senator Cory Gardner. But he did speak to our political specialist Shaun tonight through Zoom.
Senator Cory Gardner, thank you for joining me via Zoom from Yuma tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Shaun. Thanks for having me.
You are among several Republicans in tight races who will not be speaking at the RNC this year, not even by video. Why is that?
Well, look, I've never spoken at a convention before. I don't think anybody would want to listen to a boring speech by me. And so I'm excited to do what I love to do, and that's to be in Colorado, to go across the state. Today alone, I was in 4 different counties talking to people all across Colorado, and I'll continue to do that.
So among the people who did speak tonight were a St. Louis couple who stood outside their home. I'm sure you know their story, with guns as protesters that they call Marxist liberals tonight march by. And many of the speakers tonight, not just this couple, warned that Democrats would ruin suburban America. They would allow anarchy and chaos to rule there. So what do you say to those who feel like President Trump is pitting white suburbs against Black Lives Matter for votes?
Well, look, I don't think it's right to pit anyone against anyone. But what we have to realize is rightful protesters need to have the ability to speak, to let their concerns be heard. In this country, George Floyd touched our souls in a way that perhaps nothing has in recent memory. And we need to learn from that to act and respond accordingly so that we never see that tragedy repeated again. But we can't compare those peaceful protesters to the violence and the mob and the people throwing bricks at police officers. I think that those are 2 different people. And it's unfortunate that the people who are throwing bricks through the windows of the state capitol, who are writing graffiti, scrawling across the Colorado State Capitol, are actually, they're starting to overshout and overshadow the rightful protesters who want justice in this country. And I think that's the concern that so many Americans share. I hear across Colorado, they're very concerned about the safety of their communities. But remember, we can't let that violence, we can't let those violent actors overshadow the true voices for reform in our state and our country.
There is now a group called Republicans for Biden. They say President Trump doesn't represent what the party stands for, the faith, the family values, fiscal conservatism, free trade. You didn't vote, you said, for the president in 2016. Why do you support him now?
Well, look, I think we know what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would do to this country. Barack Obama himself said that Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders' liberal leftist agenda are basically identical. Kamala Harris wants to take away the health insurance from 160 million Americans who get it through their employer. Joe Biden wants to put 230,000 oil and gas workers in Colorado out of business. Together, John Hickenlooper and Joe Biden had said that they will perpetrate the biggest tax increases in the history of our country, destroy our energy economy. And both of them have said that they want to send Colorado down the direction of socialist government-run healthcare. That's not the kind of solution we need for this country at a time when we're recovering economically from the biggest health and economic crisis we've seen in over a generation.
Lastly, what do you hope that the RNC conveys? What message do you hope it conveys?
Look, this country is full of optimism. It's full of a pioneering spirit that remains today. It's a nation that looks forward to the next horizon. It's a nation that right here in Colorado looks up to that great Rocky Mountain horizon and knows that we can climb it. We can get to the next peak. And that's what we look. We look from peak to peak, not valley to valley. And that's the spirit that I hope this convention conveys. It's the spirit that I hope holds true, not just through November, but beyond, that we should never be satisfied or content with second best. That when it comes to this country, the people around the world haven't seen anything yet. That's the spirit and power of America. And that's what I hope is showcased, not just this week, but every day, every week, every year by the American people.
Senator Cory Gardner, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us on this opening day of the RNC.
Hey, Shaun, thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Have a great night.